Tier 1, Chapter 30.
Chapter 30. Later that night, after Nick has gone home, I call Sherry.
"You don't need me to come deal with another crisis, do you?"
she says dryly. I laugh. No, but thanks for the vote of confidence.
"What's up?"
She grins. I have been thinking a lot about moving forward. I just don't see the boys getting through this well without having some closure with Eric. I think we need to set something up. I think I will talk with them tomorrow, and then maybe we could all meet together at the end of next week? Or do you think we should do it sooner?
I think it will depend on when Eric is available. I will send a message over there right now. What are you going to tell the boys?
Just the facts. That Dad made an amazing discovery and that we all have to sacrifice to allow him to follow that path. He loves them, but he can't be with us. We are all sacrificing so that humankind can benefit. I know it's cliché, but does that sound appropriate?
I think so. Are you going to tell them about Nick? And what did you decide about reversal therapy?
I don't think I'm going to say anything about Nick yet. They will need to process this a while before we get to that point.
You don't have a while.
I thought about that too, I say without thinking. Wait, what do you mean?
You know what I mean, Kate.
I guess we aren't pulling punches anymore. She must know that I am aware of the details of the situation. Does that mean that Eric talked with her? Would it be possible for us to pair and not live in the same house right away? Do people do that? I ask hesitantly.
Not usually. I'm sure you can imagine the strain that puts on a relationship.
I nod. Maybe I will have to talk to them sooner rather than later. I pick up an apple and take a bite. I will definitely have the kids do their first reversal session after we meet with Eric. Who would help me set that up?
I can take care of it, Sherry says. What about for you?
Not yet. I don't feel good about it. I might grieve longer or harder, but Nick is a compassionate guy. I think he will understand, and I can't bear the thought of forgetting any part of Eric, I say, not willing to openly admit that I'm doing this for him. I can't give that knowledge up.
Up to you. And if it gets too hard, you can always reconsider, she says.
I'm sure I won't. I'm really tired, so I think I will head to bed. Thanks for helping me with this.
My pleasure, she says,
giving a fake curtsy. My smile is purely out of social obligation. It feels like I just put the nail in the coffin for me and Eric, and the finality of it is hitting me. Will you let me know what day works? I want to make sure the boys are prepared. I choke out.
Sure, hun. Sleep well.
Sherry signs off with a wave, and an image with a heart appears on my display. She might not say it, but she knows how hard this is for me. I really am exhausted. I wash my face, change out of my clothes, and drop into bed. The next morning, I continue to push through our regular routine, and we all prepare for physical conditioning. Historically, this is something that Eric would take charge of, but today it's up to me. I get our water bottles and make sure we have a protein-rich breakfast, then initiate our ride to the park near the community center. Today, we will be working on balance and ligament strength, not my strongest area. When we arrive, we see slacklines strung between trees at varying heights. While I am slightly nervous, Tal is practically bouncing off of his seat. He parks his bike and runs toward the nearest line that isn't already occupied. I move to check in with the site director. It's Chandra, a friend I haven't seen in months. How are you doing? I ask warmly, embracing her. It's been a while since we had an assignment together.
I know. I have mostly been running physical conditioning these days, so I don't see anyone anymore.
She scans my sensor. This initial scan will give a baseline for the session.
It's our loss. Do you enjoy it?
I ask.
I love it. I also get to work with new Tier 1 initiates. I actually worked with someone you know last week. Cassidy?
Yes, we got together just the other day.
It seems like she is transitioning really well. She is working hard and appears happy.
She's one of my favorites.
She is quickly becoming one of mine as well, she agrees. It's so good to see you, Kate.
You too, I smile as I walk over to the boys. My service assignments have allowed me to draw close to such high-quality individuals, and I love being reminded of that. Bentley is attempting to get on the line without falling, while Tal can already take a few steps. I stand next to them and offer a hand. After a few passes, Tal can do it almost all the way across without my help. "Is Dad ever coming home?" Bent asks, taking me by surprise. "We are actually going to meet with him soon," I say, trying not to give away the seriousness of the situation. "Why do we need to meet? Can he just come home?" I should have used a different phrase. "We need to make some decisions as a family. You guys remember seeing Dad's work at the lab, right? He was working so much, and it isn't going to slow down anytime soon." "Why do they need him? Why is it so important?" Tal asks. "It's important because if they get this right, if they can use the pairs they have found to successfully create the allele matches that Dad discovered, it could start us on the path to eliminating really deadly types of cancer. The kind that Grandma died of?" Bentley says. "Yes, the kinds that all of your grandparents died of. We don't have many disease markers in Tier 1 anymore, but this is a huge one. If we can start cleansing this genetically, in a couple 100 years, it won't be an issue anymore." "But what about for all of us right now? It doesn't really help us," Tal says haughtily. "We just have to give up time with Dad and probably still die of cancer." I respond, pretending I didn't notice the attitude. "True. But we don't make decisions simply based on what is good for us. You know how that turned out over and over again for our predecessors. It never worked. Society was repeatedly driven to destruction with that mentality. We have to be better than that. We have to be willing to sacrifice for the greater good. And as far as we are concerned, our lives are pretty great, don't you think?" I help Bentley step onto the line. Tal sighs. "I guess. Sorry, Mom, I just really miss Dad." I know. I do too. I don't want to sacrifice this either, but I know it's right. When we meet with Dad, we can explain more. "Are we ever going to be a family again?" Bentley asks, causing my throat to constrict. I let his question hang in the air and just keep holding his hand.